It's summer, it's July, the sun is shining bright on the northern hemisphere. We're 11 races through this Formula One season, and Max Verstappen has only won 7 Grand Prix. We're starting to see a consistent battle for P1 in Formula One. What is this? What sport is this? Give me more of this sport. It's lights out, and away we go for episode 148 of the Eaton Asphalt Podcast. Marco, another cracker. We're seeing this feels like weird. I feel like my body is telling me that something's off right now because of the awesome like P1 battles that we've been seeing recently.
Yeah, and the way we are getting these finishes too. Like especially this last week was I would say probably the most surprising of how P1 got P1.
It had to like journalists in Formula One have to love this stuff. Like whenever there's drama or controversy in your sport, there's always more stuff to write about. Like imagine the journalists that slugged through the years of domination on Lewis or with Lewis, finally got a turnaround with Max. That got stale. Like they're probably in hog heaven right now. I mean, 7 out of 11 races for Max. That number is about 2 or 3 lower than what I would have put the line out for 11 races through the season.
Yeah, I would probably I was assuming kind of on par to the last couple of years that we've seen, you know? Feel like we kept like telling ourselves every single year like it'll be different. And then after like around the third year, I was like, this probably isn't going to be different. And then the year I gave up, ruined all my hopes. It's kind of different. Not really, but kind of.
That's a good message. Just give up on your hopes and then your dreams will come true.
And good things happen. Yeah.
All right, on this episode of the podcast, we have our hot lap recap, winners and losers, race and gambling predictions for Austria. And then looking forward to Britain, we have country fun facts for Britain, British Grand Preview from Marco, and our predictions and gambling for this upcoming weekend. Let's get right into it. Episode 148 with a hot lap recap. It was a sprint weekend this past weekend. So starting with the sprint, Lando and Max had a good battle, but Oscar capitalized on that battle to pass Lando. So we had a Verstappen, Piastri, Lando podium. All eyes then moved to qualifying after the sprint. It was a bit of a psych out for me because the gap from first to 20th in Q1 was 8 tenths of a second. So I was like, man, everybody might be pretty much on par here. Lo and behold, turns out Max was 4 tenths of a second faster than P2. And he would start on pole Sunday in the very beautiful Styrian Mountains. Speaking of beauty, a beautiful sight for McLaren fans that wanted to close that gap on Ferrari. Charles Leclerc getting front wing damage on the first lap and having to pit after lap 1, effectively ruining his chance at good points, taking him out of the race. Max pulled out a gap on Lando in second to several seconds before all of a sudden they kind of like came together after a bad stop. So bad stop for Max meant that there was all of a sudden going to be a showdown for first place. It wasn't just Lando, but a lot of, right after that and before, many track warnings, right? Track limits warnings came out. And there was this fun game where Lando was not staying in the track. Max was moving under braking and kind of like being a little dirty on defense. Laps dwindled away. It looked like we were either going to be destined for an awesome defensive showcase from Max or a legendary pass from Lando. Instead, we got neither. Lando and Max collide, effectively ending their chances at the top step of the podium and leaving the cleanup for George Russell, for a George Russell, Oscar Piastri, and Carlos Sainz podium. All right, hot lap recap behind us. Let's get into our winners and losers, starting out on a positive note here. It's an obvious one, but I do want to just give, the hats off. George Russell, absolute right place at the right time. Guy makes the best out of a bad situation. Remember in Spa when he qualified second in the wet in a Williams, and he ended up getting 12 or whatever it was, like 9 points or something from that, just because, and basically he was just lucky. Sometimes you don't just have to be good, you got to be lucky too, and George was both.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I actually started watching this race about 25 minutes behind. Woke up a little late, recorded it, knew it was probably going to be a problem. And then accidentally, about when he was 15 seconds behind Max, accidentally hit the button, jumped forward, and it was like George, like it was almost the exact time as he was crossing the finish line. I was like, George won. I was like, what in the fuck just happened? Yeah, I mean, just right place, right time. That's all you can say.
Yeah. And good on him. He made the most. He deserved it. He was standing tall. There was a moment in the cool down room where he was like, "Man, that was an awesome fight between those two." And Oscar's like, "Yeah, dude, they just
Yeah,
crushed.
of
You won
course.
because
Yeah.
of it. So I bet you think it's pretty cool, don't you?"
Yeah. And
Uh,
then I think he was even after, he was like a few minutes after the cool down room. He's like, yeah, we shouldn't laugh at that. I was like, you fucking you are just smiling from ear to ear. What are you talking about?
Most British thing ever. He's like, honestly, it's a shame. It's a darn shame. You
I
never want.
hated that.
My other winner is Haas, P6 and P8 this weekend in the Grand Prix. No points in the sprint, but 12 points in the Grand Prix. That's more points than they've had all season. Slingshots them from 2 points behind Alpine. It was 9-7 going into this race. Now it's 9-19. So they're 10 points ahead of Alpine. I mean, probably. I hope Netflix was there. I mean, definitely. We'll talk about Netflix. Netflix, if this was a Netflix day, they should definitely have been following Haas around because this is like, remember when we were just watching Drive to Survive and it was like a big dramatic showdown and it was like, oh, we did it, guys, and it's like they got P9.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, like this is pretty much as good as it can get for Haas. Like they won this weekend in their eyes.
yeah, yeah. It was their best finish since Austria 2002, when Mick Schumacher got sixth, and then Kevin Magnussen got eighth. So full circle.
2022. I think he said 2002.
Yes, I did say 2002. I meant 2022.
Uh, yeah, I mean, awesome. Mick Schumacher, sorry, I completely got distracted. Who was the other guy?
K Mac. Yeah.
Hey, Mac, that's right. Okay. I thought for a second you were going to tell me that Mazepin and Mick Schumacher had a almost as good weekend.
I don't think that guy scored a point.
I don't think he did either. Kind of think of it. I miss him. Come on back, Nikita.
Yeah.
Last winner is Netflix. Have to be absolutely wetting their pants today. Max and Lando, typically good friends. They get along. They have so much footage to pull from for Drive to Survive of the two of them getting along, and you can already hear it, kind of like the crescendo, the music, and then seeing that like on track. They have the ultimate plot twist in their season fucking 6 or whatever they're on right now. And yeah, best part about all this though was the shot of Max and Lando right next to each other in the media pen answering questions about how it's the other person's fault. Like that has the potential to be one of an all-time like documentary scene right there about like let's tune into both of their like ongoing audios at the same time listening to the other one blame the other one.
Yeah, I wonder if like one overheard one talking poorly about the other, and so the other person started talking even louder. It's like, no, yeah, it was definitely Max's fault, dick. And he's like, whoa. Just, I mean, it was 2 feet from each other. Pretty entertaining. Also, I don't know why Helmut Marko hates Lando Norris so much, but man, this guy just finds every room to be like, yeah, Lando, not a good driver. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Again, being like, yeah, like I don't understand all the hate for Max. This is definitely Lando's fault. When that is the only that garage is the only garage or group of people that can see that it wasn't entirely Max's fault there.
Yeah, it seemed like the consensus was in. It seemed like the jury didn't need to deliberate anymore on the internet. Like everybody was like, "Yeah, no, this is pretty clear."
It's
Like,
pretty obvious. Yep.
um, any other winners on your side? Anybody I
No, I
missed?
mean, I was just going to say Mercedes. You said George. I mean, they went from a potential third and sixth place finish to first and fourth. So by far the best team on the weekend. Helps when the two guys in front of you just completely get 0 points. Actually, I guess Max gets what 10. So
Yeah,
huge turnaround for them. I mean, they've probably been outside of McLaren, tied with McLaren as the hottest team the past month.
yeah. Seems like they're figuring stuff out. I don't even have it on here, but we should talk about Ferrari at some point. One of these race recaps if they're gonna keep going the way they're going.
No, I mean I've had them on the the losers the last couple of weeks.
Oh,
I've
okay.
I was trying to be nice, keep them off. I think there's more losers to talk about, so they are off this week for me.
Before we get to the losers, just quick bonus one. Danny Ricciardo in the points, P9. Good on him. Again,
That is
helps
this
helps, when you're
when he's
when you
supposed to
get
be out of the points.
bumped up
Yeah,
2 places. Yeah, that helps you get
yeah,
P9. But yeah, good on him.
yeah. Do you think this is like? Do you think we see Danny Ricciardo in a on a or in a car next year
Yes.
with RB?
No.
Do we
With
have any?
with Audi,
Oh, huh. All right, I'm
new
in.
team has to get some eyes.
Yeah,
Put Danny in
yeah.
there.
We just got to wait for the science drama to unfold, and then I think we should be, we start seeing the other teams tinker off.
Yeah, I'm done with signs, dude. Make a decision.
Yeah,
I don't want to read about it every week. This is like the third race where we've been like, well, like we keep getting psyched out too, which is the annoying part. Like I'm tired of thinking that he signed
I've
somewhere.
seen so many. Oh, it's confirmed Williams. It's confirmed Audi. It's confirmed Alpine.
Yeah.
It's not confirmed.
Yeah.
Don't say confirmed. Stop saying that.
They're all losers. And speaking of losers, for what feels like the seventh time in a row, I'm gonna put Sergio Perez on the losers list. So the bad news is that he was P7 in the Grand Prix. The good news is that is his best result in the last 5 races. So
Yeah.
P8, DNF, DNF, P8, and then P7, baby. We're back.
Tough. Yeah. I want to. He's been on my losers for the last 3 weeks as well. So a few different things. I have where to begin. So Max gets a collision, a puncture, a pit stop, and a penalty, and still beat Perez by 17 seconds. I also have the list of Sergio Perez's gap to Max Verstappen by circuit. So I'm just going to go in order. Gap 22.5 seconds, 13.7, 12.5, 19.7, 54.8, DNF, 59.5, Austria 17.5. So that's not good.
Hey, market improvement between the last couple races and this past race.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would have been probably in the 50s, maybe a little bit more if that collision doesn't happen. But I mean, he knew that was going to happen. He knew. Hey, I'm going to get it under 20 this time.
He's locked in, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Sergio, we welcome you always on the losers list for as long as you deserve to be there. Gambling is my next loser, mainly me gambling. Actually, both of us.
Yep.
We all lost. I lost a
Yep.
wee bit bigger, went down 5 units today, puts me in the red. That happened in a blink of an eye, dude. I'll tell you what.
Wow. Yeah.
Snuck up on me like nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much I can hate on. I mean, it was, losing 5 units in a week is always tough. I lost 3 units, so there's not much room for talk. I think if I wagered 5 and I risked 5, I would have been right there with you. But we made it almost halfway through the season before you got into the negative, so that's cool.
The problem is I'm like really in the negative now. Like 3 units is tough
Yeah,
to go back from. So
just gotta chip away, dude. You're fine.
it's gonna, hey, we're grinding. We got, what did we say we have? 2 races?
Before summer break.
Races before summer break?
Yeah,
That's just 1.5 unit per race. That's all I
it's
need.
easy, super easy.
That's easy. All right. My last loser, I'm gonna go Fernando Alonso because he did get fastest lap. Worth
hmm
noting, fastest lap. Also got P18. So that's a bit of a bummer. Got beat out by Stroll by 5 places. I was thinking about this, like there's something very funny about the situation of being P18 and having the fastest lap of the race. Like I know, like it makes sense that it's like, it's not something that's crazy and wild to happen, but like I think if you're out of the points, you don't get the point for the fastest lap. You should get some consolation prize, like one spot jump on the grid, on the starting grid
Mm,
in space. You know what I mean? Or like a little bit, like you should get to be on the podium for 10 seconds and just like, and then have to get off after 10 seconds.
You get to go up and you get to place the champagne bottles for the podium guys.
And high five them
Right?
after they
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. As they come up, you get to shake each of their hands.
They give you their autograph.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, Carlos on the podium in Spain. Fernando winning fastest lap of P18 in Spain. That's the meme of the two guys looking in different directions on the bus. Any other losers that I missed there?
I just wanted to talk about this. I know we like it's been a few years since we've had this conversation, but so much stuff have been resurfaced. The whole Verstappen just driving so aggressively. Like there was a rule specifically made because of how he was braking into turns, and they're like, you cannot move your car as you're coming into a turn. He was doing that obviously a few times yesterday, like some in the gray, they were saying, some very obvious, like what caused the crash. And the amount of videos that have been resurfaced, they were calling like crash stapping, where that is his MO. It's like, I'm going to go heavy into a heavy turn, brake late, push you off. I just, it is an infuriating thing. The fact that he's like, nothing happens to him. Not really like, it's kind of a slap, like a little slap on the wrist. It's a 10-second penalty that ended up not affecting him at all. And it was something that he's just always been known for, especially when you're behind the guy. That's kind of the move, right? Like to come up close, force the guy out. So I don't know. Like I don't know how this gets fixed. Like they made the rule to stop it. It's still being done. But yeah, it's just like it bothered me more and more the fact that like the more stuff I kept seeing, like, oh yeah, I remember him doing this all the time against Lewis, all the time these last couple of years. It's just been, he hasn't had to worry about that because there's been no competition. Um, it irks me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it irks a lot of people, and he might just be nervous about the British Grand Prix coming up, dude. He got slammed into the wall at like 80 G's or whatever that was
Mm-hmm.
against Lewis. Maybe he's just trying to get his elbows out for
It's
this
like,
coming.
don't do this. Yeah, see what happens if you do this, fellas.
It's I mean, not a bad plan. Sacrifice one race and then, go back to the place that terrified you and win that.
I guess it's not like the worst thing to be known as a driver that does that, because it probably makes all the other drivers hesitate, being like, hey, a typical driver would, let up, like provide, hey, you're on the racing line, or you're on, like, I can trust that you're not going to do this. They're like, Max, it's like, I got to hesitate because he will do this. He will end both of our races before he lets me pass. So maybe it's like a decent tactic where it's like, hey, I will break the rules and it will suck for both of us, or you don't push me and we're fine.
I mean, again, yeah, not a bad strategy, and I think it is to a certain extent. I bet he's getting it from Jos Verstappen. It's like you have to be seen as a liability, like a volatile liability on the track, so
You don't
that
think
nobody tries to race you.
he trained him to do that though?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, he's like, hey, do it again. Don't stop.
Wreck these cars more, so people are
They're
crazy.
gonna try to beat you. Kill him.
All right, good stuff on winners and losers. Let's wrap up our Austria talk with our gambling and predictions recap. Let's make this quick on the gambling. We already talked about it. We didn't hit anything. I went down 5 units. You went down 3 units. It doesn't matter. It's just money. Let's move on to the race prediction. I did get two right. I got Lando to not finish, and I got douche of the day, Max Verstappen, both clear. And so that escalates. Marco, do you want to go what you got right?
I do like tip of the hat in the fact that you got both of these on the exact same instance too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Max was douche causing Lando to DNF, so that was cool.
Yeah.
That never happens. You go 0 for at least on predictions. Like
Yeah.
me, 0 for.
Like you. So I'm leading in the predictions battle, 8 points to 5 points. That's enough of the pass. The pass is for cowards and losers. All right, awesome. Marco, take it away with the British Grand Preview.
All right, British Grand Preview. We are at Silverstone Circuit. We usually don't talk about the history, but I feel like this is the ultimate place for history. It's built on a former British Air Force base, operated 1943 to 1946. Hosted its first race in 1948. Basically, like a ad hoc group of friends was like, let's make this a racing track. They did it. Very first Formula One World Championship race started in 1950. This is also an area kind of around, it's called the Formula One Valley as a track, and then a ton of teams have factories located in the surroundings of Silverstone. So this includes McLaren, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Williams, and Red Bull. So I mean, it's basically kind of like the lifeblood of Formula One. So like a ton of history, ton of importance to this area, which always makes like going to this track, apparently not this year, a very important and like highly viewed place to be. Hopefully these ticket sales have been going up since last week that we talked about it. But moving on to the track itself, 52 laps, 5.9 kilometers, and 18 quarters in total. The biggest thing about this track that you need to know, it is very, very fast. I also noticed it, to me, looks like Johnny Bravo, if you remember the Johnny Bravo cartoon, flexing. That's what I interpreted as. I think it kind of nailed it. Over the last couple of years, there have been some major redesigns over at Silverstone. A couple of years ago, as you remember, Guan Yu Zhou flipped his car. He was basically skidding like on his head for a good 40 yards before smashing into the wall. That's when George like got out of his truck, kind of like galloped or like, skipped over, weirdly the way George runs, over to see if he was all right, and just to stand there. He's not actually going to help at all. And then so like they turned that gravel area into just like just extended the asphalt, which obviously, looking back in Austria, they took a lot of the asphalt, moved it into the gravel because there was 1,200 instances last year of people going outside of the racing line or outside of the track. So this might, open that up for continued of like cars being like, hey, no gravel here, a little bit of asphalt, we're fine. Other things that have changed, a couple of years ago, new pit building started called the Hamilton Straight, named in December 2020. It's the first time that this part of the track or part of the track has been named after an individual in its track history. About the track as well, this, a lot of famous corners. This is probably the track that everyone knows as these like weird named famous corners. This goes straight into the corner of Abbey Corner, which quickly goes into the left-hander of Farm, and a heavy break into the right-hander of Village Corner. There are also other many parts of the track with names like Loop, Woodcote, Corpse, Maggots and Beckett's, and Chapel and Stowe. So I feel like I'm like watching a video of like Downton Abbey, watching an episode of Downton Abbey. Just a lot of words I don't know, and I probably never will. This is pretty much like an all-round test. It's kind of similar to Spain, where there's like, and it's an all-round test for the drivers. Very high speed, like I said, basically like a, as Lewis Hamilton calls it, like a rocket ship, just driving very, very fast, very hard braking zones. So I would assume, not an expert, but the teams that struggled in Spain, because it has kind of like an all-around test, are also probably going to not do so well. So my first comes to thought, Aston Martin, Williams, and Ferrari probably are going to have similar like difficulties, the way that their car is structured, which is good for your boy. Outside of that, weather. Saturday is going to be cloudy, high 63, 21% chance of rain. Sunday, 65, 31% chance of rain. Friday will rain. So, I mean, it's the UK, so I feel like every day is probably going to rain. Hopefully we don't get that on Sunday. And that does it for the British Grand Preview.
All right, good stuff on the preview. Let's get to my favorite sector that we do, which is country fun facts. Marco, I think you went last time, so I think I'll go this time if that's all right.
All
All right. When you think of England, Marco, what do you think of? Don't think about just top, give me
The
some
Queen,
things. Okay?
soccer,
Okay?
shoreline,
Okay?
rain,
Okay?
uh, potatoes, meat and
Okay?
potatoes,
Okay?
uh, corgis, swans,
All right, we're gonna
Big
stop.
Ben.
Stop at meat and potatoes there. Bad food was what I was looking for. That was the,
Nice.
yeah, on the meat and potatoes. Bad food is going to be my theme for country
Nice.
facts. I have three British dishes. Only two of them are real, and you have to find out which one it is. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Number one, looking for a nice mid-morning snack? Try jellied eels. Chopped eels, boiled in stock and left alone overnight to transform into a slimy goo substance commonly eaten in the mid-morning or between mid-morning and 6 p.m.
So like the entire day
I mean,
covers a huge broad part of the day.
mid-morning and 6 p.m.
Okay, so breakfast to dinner.
That's good.
Okay.
Uh, Option two, commonly served as an appetizer, you might try curdled cream soup, a soup made from curdled cream, limp leeks, and chunks of turnips, served typically with the side of French bread.
Okay.
Or number three, in the south end of the country, specifically eaten on December 23rd, you can give your taste buds a sample of Britain's famous Stargazy pie. In this delicious dish, full sardines, have their heads poking out of the crust of a savory pie filled with bacon, hard-boiled eggs, and mustard-laced custard.
Um,
Which one of
I'm
the
gonna,
three is not true?
and they all sound so yummy. It's gonna be hard for me to guess. I'm gonna go with number one, the eels.
Number one, the eels is a commonly eaten dish in Britain.
All right, I am gonna go with the curdled soup.
That is correct. That is not
Nice.
a dish. Stargazy pie looks like a joke. It looks like a prank you would pull on somebody to eat. And they're like, yeah, every December 23rd, this is what we
You eat that, and she's like, she's gonna do it.
All right, good job.
All right, nice. All right, kind of got it.
Not first,
All
but
right,
not last.
my two truths and I have three truths actually, so I gotta think on the fly which one to knock out.
Okay.
All right, here we go. There is a law in place currently where men above the age of 14 should be practicing horseback riding for 2 hours a day, and it is yet to be abolished.
Okay.
During World War II, British soldiers were told that eating carrots would improve their vision in the dark. They were being lied to so they wouldn't know that enemies had developed the radar system.
Okay.
And then, starting at the ripe age of 5, and your eyes just lit up, calm down. Kids can consume alcohol.
Which one is the lie? I'm gonna say 5, you can consume alcohol.
That is false. That is true. That is a true statement. In public or in private areas and in the home, kids starting at the age of 5 can consume alcohol.
Seems like a good law. They seem like
Yeah, no, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, doesn't hurt that brain development.
um okay, I'm gonna go. I think the carrots one is true. So I'm gonna go with number one.
Hmm. Yep. Number one is false. I think there was a law, and it's that they have to practice longbow for 2 hours a day. Uh, so I don't know why anyone has been like, "Hey, no one does this anymore." Actually, can we just knock this off the rule books? The other truth that I had, national animals for the UK area are as follows: the lion for England, unicorn for Scotland, dragon for Wales, and the flax flower for Northern Ireland. I don't think the flax flower is an animal, but I didn't look it up.
That's like one of those things is not like the other. It's like, well, this
Yeah,
is good. Hey, that was fun. That was a good one.
yeah.
Good job to us.
That was probably the most fun facts that I found in a country so far this year.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
ton of them.
Behind the scenes, it's kind of hard to be like, hey, what's kooky about Azerbaijan or Bahrain? It's sometimes when you ask Google, Google's like, well, chill out, dude. Don't.
Yeah, we're not gonna like do that actually.
All right, let's finish up with our predictions and gambling for the British Grand Prix.
All right. going with our gambling after a stellar week for both of us. I'm gonna maybe take a step back and do things with way higher payouts. Maybe that'll fix it, huh? So I'm going to go with the driver to lead the race from second place after lap one, plus 250, half a unit there. And then Lando to win, plus 250, half a unit there.
Okay. I'm gonna go max on pole at plus 150, and I'm also gonna do. You know what? I'm gonna leave it max on pole plus 150. I gotta be 1.5 unit positive.
This is where you start.
So we're gonna leave it. This
Okay.
is called smart analytical gambling.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't throw all your eggs in one basket.
Max is not gonna get out of Q1, dude.
Or at least it like, you lost right off the bat. There's no like anticipation or nerves.
That's true. I can go into Sunday so relaxed.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'll go, or you go predictions. I went last time.
All right. Predictions. I have who we think will crash with DNF. Stroll, driver of the day, Lewis. Douche of the day, Fernando Alonso. Wild card prediction. No Red Bull podium. Let's get back-to-back weeks. Fastest lap, Max. How many cars don't finish? 2.
Okay, we didn't have any overlap. I had give me Hulkenberg as the guy not to finish the race. He finally got points, and now I don't trust him to stay there. Driver of the day, Charles Leclerc. Douche of the day, Carlos Sainz. Wildcard prediction, Sauber get their first points of the season.
Cool.
Or first point. Let's take that
Points.
S
Yeah. Okay, nice.
of the season. Lando Norris fastest lap and one car not to finish this race.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if Sauber gets 2 points, do you not hit that?
No, they got their first point, but
And then they got more. Yeah, nice. Okay.
exactly. All right. that was good. That was pretty clean. I like that. Another twofer coming at you. Or no more twofers, we said.
For now.
For now. Until after, whatever it is. Look it up.
Yeah. What are you coming here for?
All right. Appreciate everybody for listening. See you after the British Grand Prix.
See you, assholes.
See you, assholes.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
I used to say I lived my life a quarter mile at a time. And I think that's why we were brothers. Because you did too.